only 13 carries for 47 yards in this Cowboys loss.
It hurts. We had an opportunity to go out there and clinch the division tonight and affirm our spot for the playoffs. They made more plays, and we just gotta go win next week and hope for a loss.
What are the emotions in this moment?
Just pissed. Pissed we didn't go out there and get it done.
Do you feel like there need to be big picture changes here, especially if Philly wins next week and you guys don't make the playoffs?
We got to focus on finishing the season. We still got football left. We still can make it into playoffs. I think it's inappropriate to even talk about.
What was the difference offensively from, what did they do to slow y'all down and stop y'all?
They did a really good job. They went out there and, they had a plan and they executed and it worked well for them.
Zeke, how is a team this talented now in this position?
Just not handling our business week in and week out. Not going out there and winning ball games. Yeah.
Is that the frustrating thing? You have a great performance last week and you have a performance like this today. It's been like that all season. Inconsistent up and down. Follow a great win with some losses.
What are you asking?
Has that been the most frustrating thing of the season, that you guys have been so inconsistent and will follow good wins with losses like this?
Yeah, it's tough. Just not being consistent week to week. Yep.
Did you guys feel like the game just got out of hand early? Like it just seemed quickly at 10-0, and then you guys are playing from behind. And I know you've talked about the running game being a tough situation with that.
I wouldn't say it got out of hand. We got behind, but nothing crazy. They just, played better than us tonight.
How would you evaluate Dak, his effort today, and the guys around him, their effort to help him out with some throws that were a little bit off but catchable?
I think Dak went out there and played his heart out. Everyone else went out there and played their hearts out. It's football. Sometimes you make plays, sometimes you don't. The team that makes the most plays wins the game.
Back to that inconsistency, is there any reason for that you can pinpoint that you're aware of?
No, can't pinpoint it.
Zeke, simply put, how do you approach the fact that you're better than that team? You know this team has more talent. And yet if they get a single victory, they go to the playoffs. Not this team that many people thought could go the whole distance.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the bottom line is everybody knows you guys have more talent than the Eagles, but yet if they win a game, they go to the playoffs, you go home, a team that many people believe could have ended up in Miami.
And you're asking?
I'm asking you what do you think when you hear that?
How can you say we're a better team if we didn't go out there and beat them? When it was time to do it in the crunch time, we needed one win to solidify the division, and we couldn't do it. So I wouldn't say that, you can't just say that we're a better team because we may have better players on the roster. I do believe we're a better team, but the team that goes out there and plays the best is the one that's going to win, and yeah, that's what happened tonight.
How would you characterize that frustration, knowing that you guys didn't play your best on this day when you had this opportunity?
I already said I was pissed. Really pissed. I don't know.
All things considered, is this the most frustrating season you've been a part of?
Yeah, I think you could say that.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.
Were you off the field or were you injured?
Yeah, man, I had a go ball on the play before, and I was taken out.
Amari, I asked Zeke, how painful is it to know that there's not too many people who don't believe you guys are the better football team in this building right now, and yet with a single win they go to the playoffs and you guys go home?
It's not what people believe. It's about what actually happens. And tonight we lost, so it doesn't matter if people believe we're the better team. You have to go out there and actually win the game. That's why you have to play the game. That's why the game is actually played on the field.
How disappointed, though, you talked all week and people thought this was a championship game. You win, you win the division title, and you guys have an effort like that.
It's very disappointing. I think that goes without saying. You win this game, control your own destiny, go to the playoffs. or whatever, and we didn't get that accomplished tonight. So we have to deal with the consequences.
Has that kind of been what it's been all season, the inconsistency? You follow up a good game with like this, a game like this? I mean, you started 3-0, you lost. I mean, has that kind of been the inconsistency of the season?
What you mean? I don't get what you're saying.
Your team has been inconsistent.
We've been inconsistent, yes, but what's the question?
Is this, I mean, this part of the frustration of the season because you guys have been so inconsistent, following up good games, but with things like this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as a football team, you want to consistently win. Obviously, if you consistently win, you'll have a pretty good record and have a good chance at accomplishing the main goal. But we haven't been doing that this year. Like you said, we've been inconsistent. So.
Is there any reason for that you can pinpoint?
For the wide receiver group in total, including Amari Cooper, 6 drops for the Dallas Cowboys today. As soon as Carson Wentz hits the podium, or Dak Prescott all week long, the shoulder, you kind of mentioned what it could have been with the throws, couple off target, but still couldn't come through. As soon as Dak or Wentz hits the podium, live on SportsCenter to hear every word they said. There was another game in the late afternoon window that wasn't getting a ton of attention, but if you just
extremely disappointing, to say the least. Philadelphia, obviously, gets the leg up now. We are very disappointed when you get yourself technically in a spot to kind of come into a Philadelphia team that's got the players they've got, even though they have missing a lot of them. When you get in this spot, you give yourself a chance to be real disappointed. We are. The fact that we didn't get any scores, the fact the game turned out the way it did, we played well. Not a lot to say about anything else other than it's very disappointing. We all expected to leave here as the NFC's champs. We're not. We just go to Washington, but this is we let them really get into the things that played well. Wentz played well, as you all can assess for yourself. But that's about it. I don't have a lot to say about anything else, just other than we're exceptionally disappointed. I thought we could come up here, and we did. We'd had good weeks of practice. We thought we could come up here and play a better game than we played. And I thought right up until the very end of the thing that we could come in and make some plays and get it done. So it is a very meaningful game because of the circumstances within the league. And we've had times this year a lot when we didn't play as well as we wanted to play, but we had in mind stepping back up here and getting on a run and having some good things happen. This is a disappointing setback for that locker room and for all of us, and I know it is for the fans.
Okay, sometimes what is not said really tells a story. Now, we've been watching Jerry Jones talk after games for decades now, really, and he's always forthcoming, wins or losses. He did not want to be out there very long, and it felt like he didn't want to say something after this game. 2 total minutes he spent talking to the media, when it's usually almost 12 or 15. He wanted to get away before he said something bad. That's my takeaway from that. He is as upset about this particular loss than he has been all season long based on what we just saw.
I don't disagree with you at all about that. And the crazy thing about this is the Cowboys still aren't out of it.
No,
that's right.
Like, that's the crazy thing about it. And look, I actually think the Cowboys are good enough, and if they will run the football, which they're very capable of doing,
right?
Even going on the road and winning a game.
Right.
So, look, I still think if they get in, they could be a dangerous team. I still think that way about them, even though we've seen them put together efforts like against the Jets earlier this year or against the Eagles tonight, where you're like, man, there is no life in this team.
No consistency.
But yeah, so I don't think Jerry can say something because they may end up winning the division still.
Well, that's true. That's right, because they're not out of it completely yet. Yeah.
That's a gut punch, man.
All right, Jason Garrett, head coach, been in battle this season. Hear what he says after this loss.
Jason, what was the call on 4th down, the design on that final play you had on 4th down, and why were Cooper and Cobb not on the part of the field on that side?
You mean the one to MG on the sidelines? Yeah, we had an opportunity outside to him. We had different routes going inside, so the ball can go any of 5 places on that play based on the coverage they get. And obviously in those two-minute situations, those guys ran a lot of plays in a row, and each of those guys, particularly Randall, came up big at different times. So we had a great matchup outside. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cash in on it.
Josh Hurt, is he a little bit more affected by that injury on throwing? Because some of those throws didn't look like typical Dak Prescott today.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't do what we needed to do in all 3 phases of our team today to win. Give Philadelphia credit. They played a good ball game. We didn't play well enough to win the game, and there were a lot of different areas that we have to get better at. There certainly were some things we did well, but it certainly wasn't good enough.
What did you think of that throwing the ball today?
I thought at times he threw the ball very well. Other times we weren't as efficient as we needed to be in the passing game.
It seemed like the offense was starting to get something going. There would be a misplay or a fumble or something like that. How tough was it for you guys to be able to try and find something offensively in the third and fourth quarter?
Yeah, we just had the one fumble. Unfortunately, we lost that. That would have given us a field goal opportunity to get points there. And I just think in general, we weren't as efficient as we needed to be in the passing game. Obviously, they loaded up against the run. They did a good job. They came in with the idea that we weren't going to be able to run the football. I thought we tried to be persistent with the running game. It wasn't effective enough throughout. There were a couple of good runs here and there, but not consistent.